10,000 subscribers in 1 month. How in God's left nut is that shit even possible? Did somebody give me a shout out? Did I polish the taint of somebody at YouTube HQ? The world may never know, but regardless, it means so much to me that a stadium full of people put themselves through my diaper tier memes. It really does. I am completely blown away.
Back to it.
Today we have Grandmaster Yoda, a hero whose nut is now potentially canon.
20 minutes later.
But more importantly, a hero who is genuinely amazing, super underrated. Yes, his swing speed is low, but if you have an ability that gets you out of Vader's choke, you're basically having sex in my book. My body was 40% ketamine when I maxed out Yoda, but in this video there are strats that will get you maxed fast. No enhanced brain function required. On my journey to max out Yoda, I had lots of problems. Thought he couldn't be maxed out as fast as everyone else, but co-op still works best. As it turns out, Yoda is one of the more—
Get to the fucking point.
What you'll need for this guide are purple star cards for Earned It I Have, Feel the Force, and Size Matters Not. Yoda's Force ability is the bread and butter of his XP. We'll be relying on it in many situations, so having a card that decreases the time it takes for the ability to reach full power is super great. Sometimes the charge up for this Force ability bugs out or doesn't fill up fast at all. And any card that speeds up the process is a welcome addition. Also, you're going to need all the time you can get because you're going to be contending with Anakin's and Obi-Wan's and Chewbacca's. He cannot deflect blaster shots, so we'll have to lean heavily into sharp jump attacks and basics followed by dash strikes. Hitting the opponent twice with grounded basics is just too slow, and because they're co-op AI, they'll be hitting every shot, so disposing of these guys ASAP is a massive must. It'll take some practice, but after you master this, you'll have a much easier time. And when you bring your Max Yoda into GA or Supremacy, you'll have a much better time on the offense. Okay, talking about 3 specific co-op maps today for Yoda, those being Felucia, Kamino, and the ship version of Kamino. The cloning facility leads straight into Felucia, and just in case it takes you to the ship version of Kamino, I'll have that map covered in the video, so no worries. On Felucia, you want Yoda on the first phase for that extra— juicy 3000 XP. Luckily, I don't have to say that for the next 2 maps because those are defense maps. This one is offensive, so you want to close out the first phase real quick. Same goes for phase 3 because the juicy bits are in phase 2 and 4. On this phase, you can go to any objective. I think C is easiest to capture because it's so isolated. And on B, you're exposing yourself quite a bit. But if you're on it with your teammates, you can control the front lines with relative ease. No heroes can spawn yet, and as long as you're on your toes, you should be okay. But when phase 2 does start, it's nice to be as close to this area as possible. Come up through the back entrance and perch atop this platform. Plan a decent force push and execute it. If there's a saber hero, do not engage. Rather lure them into the suck shack. What the fuck is the suck shack? Well, calm down, I'm about to show you. I invented this shit back when co-op launched, and it still works to this day. You don't need to worry about phase 2 heroes ever again, unless that hero is Bosk, in which case, leave my boy alone until you can rock his shit with your teammates. Cleanup duty should be a breeze, just make sure to be using your middle ability at all times. If you're rushing in and are expecting to lose a lot of health from the buff, the Size Matters Not star card will be nutty. That's why we're running it. It's a decent mattress to break the fall of a lot of gutsy plays. Once the objective is clear and the next wave comes in, wait by this rock. And charge up your push until around 9 or 10 enemies are highlighted. While they're off their feet, finish them by dash striking like a maniac. If the enemies are kept in check, this phase should only last about a minute. Now for phase 3, the objective you choose is up to you. B is more closed off, you can capture it fast, but at the cost of less XP. At A, it's a little bit harder, but if you find a few really good force push angles, the objective will be yours. If you do manage to push them off A and are waiting for the next wave to spawn, the droids mostly spawn down here, so keep that in mind. If you're having a real hard time at A and the match is around 1 minute from ending, just head over to B and cap, because phase 4 is where Yoda shines. Since a direct approach is suicide because of the tank, you'll need to come through here and jump up to this platform. This spot is safe, but it only takes a couple seconds for the tank to lock onto you and melt your health, so after you push, get out of there. This angle is great and all, but if the tank is gone and there's still a ton of enemies on the objective, take this route across the battlefield. And come to this platform. The area of effect of the push is insane, and you can catch pretty much all of them and rush up single-handedly to start capping the objective. A good way to prolong the carnage, though, is to let the dark side heroes survive, because they'll be the ones keeping your teammates off. Remember, each big push you pull off gives you over 2000 XP. So if you want to keep that train running, let the boss or Maul do their work. But if your teammates do start smacking them around, you can start feeding off the spawn points like here, or back here. And after around 10 minutes of high Yoda chaos, you'll be chewing around 50 to 60,000 XP. That number shoots up like crazy if your teammates are brainlets and don't push the objective though. It's not the best a hero can do, but for Yoda, a hero who many believe to be shafted in terms of power and co-op, it's pretty damn good. And I believe the XP per minute average we get on Felucia is just as good on both Kamino maps. Now, onto the cloning facility. Although we don't get that extra juicy 3000 XP on this defensive map, you'll still need Yoda as quick as humanly possible, because this joint is an absolute cream zone. First things first, make sure that A is immaculate, because unlike the Anakin or Obi-Wan strat, A is Yoda's domain. Once the objective is clear, wait for the next wave to spawn from the safety of cover. The AI will stop in their tracks if they see you, and what we want is for them to collect around the objective for a really nice force push. Jumping up here until that happens works pretty well too. Once you're done there, rush over to the doorway at B and try to keep it under control, because a lot of droids can come out of here as well. If you plan on eating from this spawn, make sure you launch your charged ability at the top of this staircase for maximum range. If you do it from the safety of the opening, sometimes you won't catch the enemies in the way back. But once you are done here, sprint over to Objective A. You need to be in the habit of zooming between zones, because if you're scooping the majority of the XP on both sides, your Yoda levels will get really fat. A lot of people like Phase 4 on this map. It's not a bad XP choke at all, I just think it takes too long to get there, and for the payoff it gives. But if you want to prolong the match, you're in luck. An enemy hero spawns within the last 30 or so seconds. So if you want to continue the fight, just let him be. Okay, onto the attack cruiser. On this map it's not essential to grab Yoda on the first phase, because phase 2 is more compact and gives us the best XP per minute. So don't bother defending phase 1. This place can be just as good as the cloning facility if you're sharp and on top of things. The main way Yoda can shut things down is by coming to this spot and force pushing. They all stick to the sides because the game is telling them to find cover from the fire from your teammates. And this is wonderful for Yoda, because the area of effect of this ability fully charged is nuts. And besides this spawn, they can come out of the left and right doorways. The mass of the spawns is sometimes unpredictable, so you'll have to be ready for everything and use your arsenal to control the situation as best as you can. The good thing is there's lots of ways Yoda can find cover here, but we're running 2 star cards that boost our health, so as long as you're fighting like a madman and force pushing with decent angles, this map is cake. And those are the strats I used to max out Yoda in several days of serious grinding. I discovered some of these angles pretty late into my grind, but now that you know them, you're at a supreme advantage. So if you love the character, the game, the gameplay, and the climb to the top, it shouldn't take you too long. Rey is next, and for those of you mad at me for not doing Leia for the 16th time in a row, you guys voted for this shit! It wasn't me! Thousands of you voted! No, but I will do my best to get Rey and Leia out as soon as I can, so stick around. And if you're not subscribed, dude,